Welcome back to Aeons and Legacy, Chapter 5. Yeah, the darkest night. And I think it's all coming down to this shuffle right here. And we're just going to see what happens. Oh my goodness. We have enough damage potential between Astria and Death Maiden to take out the Haze Fiend. But if he gets to go first, or a couple of times before we can go, I don't know how we're going to do this. All right, shuffled enough. Up first is Astria. It's going to bring some pain to Mr. Nemesis. All right, Astria, bring it. All right, well, we're going to start off with 5 damage, Bending Beam, and that's 5 damage. Right to, of course, the Nemesis, taking it now to 11 health. Force Transfusion, which is actually nice for her. Deal 3 damage. If you have 3 or more charges, which she has, gain a charge. So not only is she going to gain a charge, she's also going to do 3 damage to the Nemesis from 11 down to 8 health. Love to see that 0 in spot number 1. And a spark as well, just to, add a little spark to the fire, down to 7 health. This is all good. All right, what does Astria have? Of course, she has basically no, she has no ether at all to get any more charges to do some healing. So that's a little dangerous. She's got, let's put, I guess, Force Transfusion, and Fire Chakra. And that's 3, 6, that's 8 damage. If she gets to go again, that's going to be game over for our for the Haze Fiend, and the 1 crystal will spend it, and we have nothing to do with 1 ether. The way it goes, we have to hang on to that spell though. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have now we have a whole ton of ether. But you know what? I don't know if it's going to matter. All right, back we go to turn order, and we'll see if we can finish them off. It's all about the turn order. Who's going next? Oh, Death Maiden. Wow! I don't believe it. Over we go to Death Maiden. Oh my goodness. Well, this is unreal. So we have Death Maiden going. Let's do the Bug Zapper. Deal a damage. If it's a minion, deal an additional damage, gain a charge. It's going to gain a charge. It's going to do 1 damage to the Nemesis. The Nemesis goes down to 6 health. All right, Gravity Node. Any player discards a card in hand. If they do, deal 4 damage. We'll just get rid of this. It doesn't really matter. Discarding 4 damage to the Nemesis. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, that's a 2. And yes, indeed, the Fire Chakram does how much damage? 2. Which means the Nemesis goes to 0. And we've defeated the Haze Fiend. Oh, wow. All right, I'm going to zoom out, and I guess we're going to finish him off and see what we do next. All right, and just so we know, let's see, what was the next turn order? Well, Astria was going again, then the Nemesis, then Death Maiden. Oh yeah, he was done for. A good shuffling job on my part. All right, we've defeated the Haze Fiend. So I do believe I'm going to have to grab out the card and read. I think it says once you finish the battle with the Haze Fiend, flip over this card and read it. So let's get reading that card and see what we're supposed to do next. Alrighty, I can't believe we pulled it off, but we pulled it off. Alright, so it says, fight the Haze Fiend. Read the front of L36 after your first game versus the Haze Fiend. So let's take a look at the front of L36. And this is the front of L36. If you won your game versus Haze Fiend, read the back of this card. We won it, which, wow. I don't know how we did, but we won it. So we're going to read the back of this card. Otherwise, if we lost, we do not replay the game. Instead, read the front of L37. No, we're reading the back of this because we won. So let's get to it. All right. Chapter 5, Conclusion. As you strike your final blow against the Haze Fiend, a painful scream reverberates through the air. In a flash, the haze is gone and torches flicker back to life, lighting the camp. There is no sign of the fog, nor of the shadow you saw moving within. Only the fallen remain. Despite the horror, the survivors begin to move the bodies and seek out missing loved ones. As you survey the wreckage and help coordinate efforts, you feel a renewed sense of purpose. This time you were barely able to stop Haze Fiend before it devoured the whole camp. The Nameless must be destroyed at all costs. We just barely did defeat it, yes. Read the back of L37. All right. right, so this is the, what did it say, the back of L37. Indeed. I beg you, Brahma, as Asus pleads, as the mages begin closing the breach. Channeling a nameless breach is forbidden. We will not repeat your mistakes, she chides. We need this power when Maelstrom returns, Asus argues. Ever-practical Malister continues your instruction while they argue. So we open Insight 11, haven't done that, but I will, and apply the rulebook sticker to the rulebook, and it says choose an additional ability sticker and place it on your playmat where it says unlocks at the end of Chapter 5. This additional effect will resolve every time you use your ability. And then we're going to read the front of L38. So let me get that set up. Alright, so in the rulebook we put this sticker in. It says 20 pulse tokens used with certain player cards. Each player may not have more than 5 pulse tokens at any time. Any pulse tokens gained beyond 5 are lost. Pulse tokens are carried over from turn to turn. When the game ends, players discard all their pulse tokens. Haven't seen those cards yet, but I'm sure they're coming. And now we're going to add an extra ability to our activation when we spend all of our crystals. So we're going to do that for Death Maiden, and we're going to do that for Astria. Alright, so we got one more ability happening for our Life Well activation, and what I've chosen for Astria, there were 8 choices. I chose this one, and Gravehold gains 2 life. So when she does her Life Well spell, any player gains 3 life, and Gravehold gets 2 life. So we want to also keep Gravehold going. Alright, let's take a look and see what Death Maiden picked. Alright, and what we chose for Death Maiden is, and if you have 4 or less life, gain 2 life. Kind of redundant with Astria's ability, but Astria can pick who to add life to. And this at least gives Death Maiden the ability to do some healing if she gets beaten down quite a bit. So I kind of like that one. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so we're going to continue on now. After we've done that, we're going to read the front of L38. Alright, so here we go. This is the front of L38. Chapter 5, Conclusion Continued. Your instruction is interrupted by an explosion of electricity which knocks everyone down before Brahma can punish Zassos for his audacity. He is gone. That burst of energy changed you. Instinctively, you understand how to convert your raw pulse energy into magical power. So we're going to open box D. We're going to reveal the rest of Stop 5 deck. These are your supply upgrades. Upgrade the supply using these cards according to page 11 of the rulebook. I believe we can swap out any 2 cards. Banish all the Nemesis cards labeled Haze Fiend at the bottom, the Haze Fiend Nemesis mat, and the Nemesis tokens. Read the back of this card when you're ready to start Chapter 6, which will be in our next playthrough of this. Alright, so let me get box D open, and I'm going to look at the Stop Deck 5 for all of our upgrades, and then I will show you what we're going to swap out for the upgrades, and that will be basically the conclusion of Chapter 5, The Darkest Night. Alright, I've made my decision against, we've defeated the Haze Fiend. Alright, we are going to banish this, the Reality Stabilizer. We didn't even use it once. It costs 6. It's very expensive to get. I mean, I like it, but we have the Soothing Torporine, so we don't really need the Silence and Minion. We're getting rid of this one. We have to get rid of 2 and add 2 new ones. We have to. And what we're going to add is we're going to add this relic right here. We're going to add the Voltaic Relay. And it's costing 4, so it's a little cheaper, a little more easy to get. Any player gains 3 pulse tokens. The player may lose a pulse token. If they do, they destroy a card in hand. A great relic for thinning your deck. So that's what we're adding. And we're also getting rid of the Force Transfusion. Cast, deal 3 damage, heal 3 or more charges, gain a charge. Costing 4. See you later. Out of our game. And we're replacing that one with this new spell, which is the Breach Communion, costing same amount, 4. It says, while prepped once per turn during your main phase, you may gain 1 pulse token. So if you leave it prepped, and then during your main phase, you just get a pulse token. And when you cast it, deal 2 damage. You may lose 2 pulse tokens if you do deal 3 additional damage. This is a possible 5 damage spell, costing 4, having to do with the pulse tokens. And that's going to conclude our playthrough against the Haze Fiend. I seriously didn't know how we were going to beat this guy. We somehow, Death Maiden Astria pulled it off. So thanks so much for watching along. Thanks for your comments, subscriptions, likes. That was Aeon's End Legacy Chapter 5. the darkest night, and we came through somehow triumphant. So thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next playthrough series coming up sometime soon. Not sure exactly when, so stay tuned for that, and we'll see you then.